Lesson 68. Love holds no grievances. You who were created by love like itself can hold no grievances and know yourself. To hold a grievance is to forget who you are. To hold a grievance is to see yourself as a body. To hold a grievance is to let the ego rule your mind and to condemn the body to death. Perhaps you do not yet fully realize just what holding grievances does to your mind. It seems to split you off from your source and make you unlike him. It makes you believe that he is like what you think you have become, for no one can conceive of his creator as unlike himself. Shut off from yourself, which remains aware of its likeness to its creator, your self seems to sleep, while the part of your mind that weaves illusions in its sleep appears to be awake. Can all this arise from holding grievances? Oh, yes. For he who holds grievances denies he was created by love, and his creator has become fearful to him in his dream of hate. Who can dream of hatred and not fear God? It is as sure that those who hold grievances will redefine God in their own image, as it is certain that God created them like himself, and defined them as part of him. It is as sure that those who hold grievances will suffer guilt, as it is certain that those who forgive will find peace. It is as sure that those who hold grievances will forget who they are, as it is certain that those who forgive will remember. Would you not be willing to relinquish your grievances if you believed all this was so? Perhaps you do not think you can let your grievances go. That, however, is simply a matter of motivation. Today, we will try to find out how you would feel without them. If you succeed even by ever so little, there will never be a problem in motivation ever again. Begin today's extended practice period by searching your mind for those against whom you hold what you regard as major grievances. Some of these will be quite easy to find. Then think of the seemingly minor grievances you hold against those you like and even think you love. It will quickly become apparent that there is no one against whom you do not cherish grievances of some sort. This has left you alone in all the universe, in your perception of yourself. Determine now to see all these people as friends. Say to them all, thinking of each one in turn as you do so, I would see you as my friend, that I may remember you are part of me and come to know myself. Spend the remainder of the practice period trying to think of yourself as completely at peace with everyone and everything, safe in a world that protects you and loves you, and that you love in return. Try to feel safety surrounding you, hovering over you, and holding you up. Try to believe, however briefly, that nothing can harm you in any way. At the end of the practice period, tell yourself, love holds no grievances. When I let all my grievances go, I will know I am perfectly safe. The short practice periods should include a quick application of today's idea in this form whenever any thought of grievance arises against anyone, physically present or not. Love holds no grievances. Let me not betray myself. In addition, repeat the idea several times an hour in this form. Love holds no grievances. I would wake to myself by laying all my grievances aside and wakening in him. Love holds no grievances, a deep dive into the heavy and the hidden. This lesson, Love Holds No Grievances, is a powerhouse. It's not just a concept, it's a full-on, reality-shattering, ego-dissolving revelation. Let's sit with it for a moment. What is a grievance, really? A grievance is a perceived wrong. A story we tell ourselves about injustice, betrayal, or unfairness. It's a protest lodged in the courtroom of the mind, demanding retribution. But here's the kicker. Grievances don't imprison the accused, they imprison the accuser. Think about it. Holding a grievance is like gripping a hot coal, intending to throw it at someone else. The only one getting burned is you. Or better yet, imagine shackling yourself to the past, dragging around the weight of every slight insult and wound. You move through life exhausted, wondering why everything feels so heavy. And here's Jesus, standing right in front of you, saying, "Drop the chains, you are free." But before we get there, let's really see these grievances, because sometimes we don't even realize we're carrying them. Major versus minor grievances, the heavy luggage and the daily pebbles. Grievances come in all sizes. Some are like boulders strapped to your back, shaping your entire experience of life. Others are like tiny pebbles in your shoe, seemingly small, but still capable of making every step uncomfortable. Major grievances, the life-altering wounds. These are the ones that feel like deep scars, the betrayals, the losses, the traumas we believe have shaped us. These are the stories we carry about how life has wronged us, often keeping us stuck in an identity of victimhood. Some examples: betrayal in a relationship, a spouse cheats, a best friend stabs you in the back, a parent abandons you, abuse or trauma, childhood neglect, physical or emotional abuse, someone violating your trust in an unforgivable way, unjust treatment, being fired unfairly, being discriminated against, being falsely accused, death of a loved one under painful circumstances, someone taken too soon, in a way that feels cruel or undeserved, a deep, unresolved wound with a family member, that father who never showed up, that mother who criticized everything you did, feeling abandoned by God, the question of, why did you let this happen to me? These grievances sit deep. They can define a person's entire existence if left unchecked. They color how we see everything, ourselves, the world, and even God. Minor grievances, the small cuts that still bleed. These are the everyday irritations, the small injustices we think don't affect us, until we realize we're replaying them in our heads hours later. Some examples. Someone cutting you off in traffic. You don't just forget it, you tell 3 people about that idiot on the road today. Your friend not texting back quickly enough. And suddenly, you're questioning if they even care about you. Your partner leaving dishes in the sink, again. It's not just a dish, it's disrespect. That coworker who takes credit for your idea, and now you're rehearsing comebacks in your head. Being interrupted in conversation. Oh, so I'm just invisible now. Your neighbor parking too close to your driveway. They do this on purpose. Someone not saying thank you. Suddenly, humanity is doomed. A store clerk being rude. What happened to customer service these days? Here's the thing. A grievance is a grievance. The ego makes no distinction between a major and a minor one. The same mechanism of attack, separation, and victimhood is in play, no matter how small it seems. Jesus is saying, if you hold grievances, you do not know yourself. He's not saying only if you hold big grievances. He means all grievances, even the twinges of annoyance. Because what is annoyance really? It's just a grievance with less drama. The question is, how much peace are you willing to sacrifice for these stories? The ego's trick, the dream of separation. Jesus doesn't mince words. He says to hold a grievance is to forget who you are. That's not poetry, that's physics. Your grievances aren't just complaints, they are the glue that holds the illusion of separation in place. The moment you hold a grievance, you reinforce the lie that you are a body, separate from love. That you are a vulnerable being in a dangerous world, needing to defend yourself. The ego thrives on this. It needs enemies, drama, stories of betrayal. It whispers, if you let this go, who will you be? And that's the million-dollar question. Because the moment you release grievances, you stop identifying with the false self, the small, scared, wounded self. You wake up to your real self, the one who was never harmed, never abandoned, never disrespected. The one who is love itself. The mountain metaphor, dropping the baggage. Picture yourself climbing a mountain with a massive backpack stuffed with every resentment, every heartbreak, every grudge. The higher you climb, the heavier it gets. Then you meet a guide who says, you know, you don't have to carry that. And you resist. But I need this stuff. It protects me. It defines me. And he just smiles. Try dropping it. See what happens. So you do. And suddenly, you're weightless. You're running up the mountain, and when you reach the top, you realize the weight was never real to begin with. The final question. Jesus ends with a challenge. Would you be willing to relinquish your grievances if you believed all this were so? He's not asking if you can let them go. He's asking if you would, if you truly believed it would set you free. So here's the invitation. Make a list of your major grievances. Be honest. Make a list of your minor grievances. The petty stuff. Read them aloud. Now say, I would see you as my friend, that I may remember you are part of me and come to know myself. And finally, let it go, even just a little bit. Because if you do, you might just discover the truth you were never bound to begin with.